Hello and welcome to this webinar, CFA Level 1. It's about corporate finance. We need to look at 5 different readings included in corporate finance. And this is, for example, Introduction to Corporate Governance, Capital Budgeting. It's about cost of capital and measures of leverage. And of course, last not least, the working capital management. What do we need to include in this webinar? What's important to know about your next CFA Level 1 exam when it comes to corporate finance? First of all, the Introduction to Corporate Governance includes the different types of persons, shareholders and stakeholders. There's the conflict between several persons, like the principal-agent problem, including asymmetry of information. Then there's capital budgeting. We need to look at the capital budgeting process, the different steps included in capital budgeting process. There's the investment decision criteria, like net present value, like internal rate of return, payback period, average accounting rate of return, and profitability index. All of this is going to be part of this webinar because all of this is part of your next CFA Level 1 exam. Then it's, of course, next reading is about the costs of capital, like the WACC, weighted average cost of capital, including different sources of capital like cost of debt, cost of preferred stock, and cost of common equity. It's about the estimation of beta. Beta is for sure going to be part of your next CFA Level 1 exam, so we need to look at it in detail. Then, of course, it's about measures, next reading, measures of leverage, like the relationship between fixed costs and variable costs. There's different things to consider, like DOL, like DFL, the degree of financial leverage, the degree of operating leverage. All of this needs to be looked at. Then last reading, last thing included here in this webinar, and of course in your preparation for your CFA Level 1 exam, is going to be working capital management, like managing and measuring liquidity, sources of liquidity like primary and secondary liquidity, like investing short-term funds. You need to understand how and when to compute money market yield, bond equivalent yield, and discount basis yield. There's different strategies. There's different strategies like active investment strategy and passive investment strategy. And you need to be able to compute some factors like the float factor, like the cost of trade credit, and the costs of borrowing, like the cost of a line of credit, and commercial paper costs. All of this is going to be part of your CFA Level 1 exam, and as a consequence, it's going to be part of this webinar. See you then.